Hello and welcome to another edition of the Eternal Journey. I'm That Resolves, and this is Hulkbuster Plate. So, ManuS took and refined this list and won this week's ETS with it. And it's definitely a powerful deck to be taking on the ladder. We are quite heavy on free drops with a massive 16, but we are playing the most powerful things at free. So we've got the Unseen Commando, the Vadius, Valkyrie Enforcer, and the Whirling Duo. Now, all of these work excellent with Unseen Commandos and can really help you in a racing situation. If you've got one or two Unseen Commandos in play, not only are they just crunching in for 8 and just gaining that 8 life, but they're also just making the Vadius basically impossible to block and just turning it into the Abyss. The Unseen Commando basically acts as a Xenon Obelisk, and it's just going to give your entire team +1/+1. And this is excellent because a ultimated Kothon, or even just a fully powered up Champion of Glory, which can be powered up from turn 2, is just increasingly difficult to block. We don't have that much interaction here. Most of it's just a little bit of Permafrost, which is actually slightly better in this deck because we do have the Valkyrie Enforcer, which lets us silence any opposing endurance units. We've got the Vanquish, which is just another way of dealing with Sandstorm Titans. It's just going to let us get in there with our massive flyers or relatively small quick draw ground units. We've got a lot of late game in this deck as well, as we do have the Kothon Ultimate, which puts another unit into play which our opponent is going to have to deal with, as well as the Vadius just getting in there with that Steelfang Chakram. And as we do have so much evasion with the flying units and also the quick draw on some of our ground units, it's just adding so much more difficulty for our opponent to be in a blocking situation against us. As well as with the nerf to the Soulfire Drake, we've now got a more exciting win condition in the Deepforged plate, which not only wears Warcries from Hammer of Might pretty well, but is excellent if you're able to stick this on a Vadius and you're just able to keep getting in there. And even in a beatdown matchup, just putting this on a Whirling Duo is incredibly difficult to race, as you've got an 8/8 lifelinker that is not only mostly unblockable, but is going to be able to block on the way back. We've got the Shelterwing Rider as well, which is going to take 2 spells to deal with, but it also, in a beatdown matchup, as a 0/5, is just an excellent wall. And still wears weapons well, and we're able to refresh the Aegis with the Protect. Protect costing 2 now makes it play a lot more like an Unseal or just some sort of counter spell now. But you can aggressively play this. Perhaps on your opponent's turn they tap out, so you're going to protect one of your units, untap, put a weapon on it, and just crunch in there for a million. As well as a protect, just giving you another way to get a Unseen Commando buff on something that doesn't have 2 skills, like an unultimated Kothon. Anyway, the power base is interesting, but I'm not going to touch on that. I just want to get straight into the games. So let's play. Okay, so we don't have any Primal in this hand, but we are able to play our fully powered Champion of Glory on the play on turn 2 into Unseen Commando. And if we don't get Primal, it's not the end of the world. We're probably in great shape here. I'll just chuck this Rakano banner down, just with the intention of playing the Seat of Glory next turn, just have a fully powered up Champion of Glory. And when this guy's crunching in for 4 and then 5, it's very difficult to block, and we're just going to be putting our opponent in the Abyss pretty early on. So if our opponent has a Torch here, that's sort of fine because our Unseen Commandos are probably going to be a little bit better in this matchup if this is either a mirror or just a straight Rakano deck. So the Champion of Glory bites it. I'm hoping we don't see a Primal Source here. I'm just hoping this is just a straight Primal deck because the Unseen Commandos in multiples really work well for each other. And the Seek power here is telling me that this is perhaps the mirror or it's going to be Armory. And we can't tell yet. But they don't have torches forever. So the ideal draw here would be perhaps a Primal Source just to start that working. But we do have another Champion of Glory, and we'll probably fit that in soon. But if we draw a 4 power, I'm tempted just to stick the Hammer and Might on this. So if we are against a carrier here, then we do sort of want to play the Unseen Commando here because that'll beat a Lightning Strike. So I think that's what we're going to do. Because we'll start to get in for 4 here. We'll be a 4/5. And a Lightning Strike's not going to do anything here. I've just got such a big clock on here that I mean, I should have perhaps considered also like a Isles Favor there. And what's this going to be? Shelterwing Rider, that's fine. I think we can basically attack with both. If we get blocked here, we're just going to Torch just to remove the Aegis. We're just gaining millions of life, and then we're just going to play down the Champion of Glory. The Champion of Glory isn't able to be blocked right now. The mirror is a bit of a joke here. Okay, so this is actually Icarius. So right, I think I don't really want to get harsh ruled next turn, so I don't really want to apply more to the board. Although if we were able to silence this Shelterwing Rider, I would be able to get him for an 8. But I think we're just going to crunch him with everyone. Because we can make a bounce block here, but I think our opponent probably wants to block each thing. And not blocking that tells me that they've not got a harsh rule here. But I'm still not going to play any more to the board because we do need to play a Primal Source before we can play anything else in our hand. So I'd rather keep the Valkyrie Enforcer in hand for now. Or we could perhaps use it as like a surprise combat trick. And we've got another Source here. So perhaps we want to be concerned a little bit about islands here. We don't want to get our 4-power unit killed. But I think we're happy just to have the Warcry here. And we'll just play it over here. Just get that Warcry free down. And this will force our opponent to block 7-8. And we should be able to kill them next turn with a Valkyrie Enforcer. I'm suspecting this is a Island's choice here. Just to... Okay, so they're just taking 7. So the block there was a little bit strange because I thought they might want to sort of prevent themselves a little bit of damage there, but maybe they're just getting from a carrier here. Now the carrier is good here, but I think what I want to do is, well, I'm going to scout first, just give me a little bit more information. Whirling Duo is great, but they should work out anyway. So we'll get to pop this down and get in with everyone. Yep. And that'll have done it. Okay, so easy redraw here, and as we saw from the last game, the influence isn't super necessary. You can actually get by with just 2 of your colours, though it is better. You do really want 2 of each influence. I think Paul's going to start off with the Crest of Fury, just bottom any power. I really just want to find more threats and answers, and just don't really want to flood out here because we can play everything, and we've got the 2 of everything in hand. And I believe I've seen Duncan Wren on the Discord. But they're playing some sort of Legion deck, maybe Chalice. And Kothon's pretty good here actually, because this will let us curve out 2, 3, 4. And this could actually be like a... It could actually be like a Elysium mid-range deck. That's sort of been floating around the ladder a little bit. Let's go chunk in for 2 here. Not worried about any Stormlixes right now, but we'll play the Vadius down because we, against some sort of like a, someone wants to be building a board like an Elysian deck, then really like the Hammer of Might on the Vadius. And we've got no particular reason here to silence this, so I'll just start getting in there with Vadius. Got a nice little Warcry free over there. Now the ideal sort of draw here is perhaps a Permafrost, because alongside the Valkyrie Enforcer that will help us deal with the Sandstorm Titan. But just drawing another 6/5 Vadius here is pretty excellent. This is basically the next perfect draw after
one of the removal spells that will just let us get in with everyone. Now we'll just play out the power. Got 2 of everything. And if we draw another undepleted power, we are able to double spell. But I think I'll probably just ultimate the Kothon. Just get more bodies down. Just put ourselves in a position where we are able to deal with the Titan if our opponent attacks in. But we've still got these excellent attackers here in these 6/5 quick draws. And yep, that'll do it. Quick draw with a huge power is pretty difficult to deal with. Okay, well, we've got a very tiny Champion of Glory that can eventually wear a bunch of weapons and get through for damage with the Vanquish, but I don't think this is quite good enough. This isn't much better. We've just got a little 1/1, but if we're able to find a Jill, we'll be in good shape. And we're against Xenon, against Test User 5. Interesting username. So if I remember correctly from yesterday, these were... Okay, so we just... It's always just better to be lucky than good. Just get in there with a fully powered champion. Next turn, depending on what our opponent's board looks like, we could just be getting in with the Unseen Commando or the Whirling Duo. I think... Yep, so they get to take our hammer here, but they've not impacted the board, so we're just going to get in with the Whirling Duo because we don't need to worry about anything like a Iron right here. And next turn we'll... Okay, maybe this changes the plan because we get to go Commando into Commando, but I think for now we're just going to get in for the 6, perhaps get a little bit of chump over here. This is good because this is going to make their capture a little bit worse as they'll have less bodies in play by the time they want to start exploding. So when I was playing against this user yesterday, they were playing a Xenon Life Force deck. And the matchup seems fairly even. Like if they're able to just go off and just make a massive board, because we don't have a huge amount of interaction here, we aren't able to deal with the go wide capture plan. And also discard spells with the Radiant that gets played, the Dream Feaster. They're able to match us in sort of racing, especially with the just having access to so many free power lifesteals in their deck. We do get to like racing situations, but they've got payoffs for gaining the life, and they are able to just outcard us and outside us. Okay, well, I'm not super excited about... Not super excited about this, but we did make it pretty difficult. So this is telling me that the no block there, well, they would have to actually double block, is something that perhaps they've got a catcher going on next and they don't want to attack and gain a life. But we will be able to... Okay, so they've got just the 1 life gain trigger here then. So they get in for 4. We do really need to find a sort of interaction to deal with this catcher. They don't have any other life gain triggers in place, so perhaps it's correct to block it. And I think it might be. Just because killing this now stops them from being able to have the 3 life gain triggers. We do get to get in for a considerable amount of damage over the next couple of turns. And okay, so here we go. Get to pick up the remaining Primal source that we need. And we'll just get in there. And our Whirling Duo now really requires like some sort of answer, as it's going to get in there for 5 every turn. And our opponent's going to have to spend next turn sort of dealing with some of our threats here, because they can't just sit there and develop the board, as they need like a in-play sort of life gain effect to be able to keep going wide here. The catcher definitely does explain why they weren't willing to just chuck away the Temple Scribe early on. I wonder what our opponent's thinking about here. Okay, so they pretty much dead to our Air Force here, so they need to do something. Perhaps they've got Sandstorm Titans in the deck, which would be an interesting inclusion. But they're just going super wide here. Any attacks we're not blocking. But they do need pretty much 2 removal spells here. Okay, Memory Dredger, that's interesting. So, right now, I think we're just going to attack in here. My opponent does have to do something here. They have to sort of chump one of these. And perhaps the Whirling Duo just prompts the block from either side here. But I don't think our opponent's really got many outs here. We've just been able to be too aggressive, and we are going to be redeploying a Shelterwing Rider if this doesn't work out for us here. Give me all GGs. Whoops. I've recently changed my emotes. That used to be thanks for the game. Yeah, I don't mean to BM with my a gift, but I just unlocked it, so I really wanted to try it out. And I probably was getting full equity here. Didn't even get to show him the Permafrost. Okay, we're on the draw, and this is not remotely keepable because it's just a Primal Source and a Seek Power. And this isn't much better, but we do get to make a turn 3 Unseen Commando. And hopefully not long after that we'll be able to jam a plate on it and get in there. This could be a hand where we've just got too little going on. And okay, so the Vadius is pretty decent because it gives us another threat and something else that we are able to stick the Deepforged plate on. We do need to... Okay, so we don't have to do anything. We're just able to play down the Hooru banner and search up the Fire Source. Now our power is pretty much perfect for the rest of the game, and we'll get to curve quite nicely. Play Vadius next turn, and then next turn it's just going to be Unseen Commando and Torch. And then the turn after is going to be playing a Deepforged plate on the Vadius, and that'll probably do it. So right now we do need to be careful to play the right power. Just get the fire out so we can play the Vadius. Now we're playing against a straight Hooru control deck here. And just being able to put the endurance on this unit is going to be quite difficult. And okay, well, they've permafrosted our Vadius, which is actually fine. Because we are next turn just going to put a Deepforged plate on it and just pop it from underneath the Aegis. So I'll probably sort of they've spent 2 cards to slow us down by a little turn. And this could be a problem of 4-8. I don't have any actual real interaction here. We do get to jam this Deepforged plate. And then we'll be able to attack for 8. But we are left open quite a lot to a Vanquish on Islands next turn. So I'll probably have to just take it here. And we're able to start getting some Valkyries in the air. But because we've got the Overwhelm as well as the Endurance, it's going to be difficult for our opponent to come back from that. So this is aggressive from our opponent here. I'm just getting in there with the cards. I mean, we're not instantly lethal, but we do get to get in for a bunch of damage here. So we've got 8, we've got 11, and we've got 14. So stick the Hammer of Might over here. Actually, we did want to bolt this first. So that was a sort of a misplay over here. Just savagely misplaying into forgetting to torch the unit. Our opponent does have a face Aegis. Rats. Well, I'm sure you can let me know about this in the comments. But if our opponent attacks it, it's just not enough. Yep, so we gave our opponent an extra turn when we really didn't need to. So right now we just torch the 2-2. And then next turn we'll just be getting in for a billion T. Okay, so I think this is a redraw. We are able to play our Kothon and Shelterwing Rider, but I really do want access to fire here. This is a little bit better. We're quite slow with this hand. And it's probably we are going to prefer quite a small Champion of Glory here. But we'll just Crest here just to find any sort of power source. And the Justice is pretty good here. And we will be making a 1-1 Champion of Glory, which is not super exciting. But we are looking down mono Primal here, so maybe we won't get super punished. And then the turn after we'll be able to play a Valkyrie Enforcer if we need to. Or we can just keep up the Protect. And our opponent's doing a Wisdom of the Elders here, so I'm guessing this isn't actually mono Primal. We'll get to chunk him for free here. And I'm going to just play Kothon out. If our champion... It's going to be very difficult for our opponent to deal with the champion, actually. Because they do only... Well, they do have endurance, and our opponent's not going to be able to Permafrost it. So, I think right here... I can just play the Unseen Commando, but I think I'm just going to wait a little bit on that. Now, we've got Lightning Strike here. Okay, so I think we'll just Protect here. So Protect there basically the same as just playing under the threat, but we also get some damage in. And opponent looks like they're stumbling here. Perhaps they're actually just playing the Primal out there, the Waystone, rather than the Justice Source that they may have, just to make us be a little bit concerned about them not having Harsh Rule or the power to cost it. But I'm not going to sit here forever. I'm just going to keep getting in there. Because we don't get anywhere by not killing our opponents. And then next time we'll be able to play the Shelterwing Rider. And if we draw the power, we'll be able to... Okay, so what do we have here? What are our options? We can just silence this Kothon, just get rid of it. And we can vanquish this. And I think that's what we'll be doing. We want to save the Deepforged plate for later, I guess. Especially, it does fit quite well in the Shelterwing Rider. I just want to keep pushing damage here. And just give our opponent less options. So the attack with 2-3 is basically free here. I've got our opponent at 8, which means that we do have him dead on board, but if not, over the course of like 2 turns, we'll be able to get in there with the Shelterwing Rider. But our opponent's given up, they've not found the Justice Source or the Harsh Rule. Okay, so it's everything I sort of like. It's a little bit of scouting action, as well as one of our greatest threats in the Vadius and the Shelterwing Rider to go along with this Deepforged play. It's a little bit slow on the draw, but I'm going to keep it. These games have been pretty quick, so we can sort of start getting a little bit loose now, as we've got plenty of content here. Right ahead. Perhaps we do actually just want to find a undepleted power, but Shelterwing Rider is just as good, as it's another great target for our Deepforged plate. So I'm playing against the Legion again here. There's been Crest of Wisdom there, so maybe it's... so what do we play here? I think we play a Seat down. Because if we do find a undepleted Sigil, we're able to play out the Seat and Vadius, and then next turn we'll be able to very likely play the Rakano banner down. Just because Vadius is quite difficult to deal with, especially by a Legion. Okay, so it looks like we're playing against the Clockroach's deck, so being slow isn't really the best thing we want to be doing here. But we're not seeing any echoes so far. There we go, so... Jam this Vadius down. I'm sort of glad that we're not playing against any sort of a Legion deck here, just because Combat Healer does make Vadius look pretty silly. But it looks like our opponent's struggling here, and we're being allowed to capitalise on this. As we're going to be playing Vadius into Shelterwing Rider, and then probably just jamming this Deepforged plate onto the Vadius, which make it very difficult to deal with, as they won't be able to even pop the Aegis with a Permafrost. So they found the third power, so we're potentially going to be able to get a game here. And we've got the Rakano banner, so chuck it in for free. Nothing to worry about here, and then just slam the Shelterwing Rider. And I'm going to be pretty happy to be getting on stream this weekend with Aphelion. And we're going to be playing some Unseen Bird Tribal as long as the new campaign has dropped. Also, think I've fixed the audio up to at least the quality that I had before my computer exploded. Rain of Frog says going to take out our plate, which is a nightmare. So perhaps this is some sort of Legion control deck. Maybe they do want to take the Shelterwing Rider, just it's more difficult threats for them to deal with. But it is the plate here. That's fine because we're still going to get to getting for 1 million. I'm not going to play the Shelterwing Rider out because I don't want to get both of my powerhouses knocked out because I don't have any weapons to put on them to keep them going, because a Lightning Storm would knock off both the Aegises, so I'd rather just slow roll them and make them use some sort of spell here to pop this one off before I played the second one out. And there we go, there's a Lightning Storm I was a little bit worried about, so if opponent does have a second Lightning Storm they'll be in great shape here, but hopefully we are just able to ultimate this Vadius on the next turn. But yep, there's a Lightning Strike coming my way. So I suppose we'll just get it for the free here. Pull out the Vadius, and next turn we're going to be getting some Chakram, and then if Vadius dies, just put the Chakram on the Shelterwing Rider. Chakram isn't excellent against a deck that's going to try and Permafrost you threats though. Okay, so let's get this Chakram in here. Yep, you tell them for the wilds. I probably got to desperately find some sort of answer here. They need to deal with everything in play, so it's going to need to be like double Lightning Storm right here, but that'll give us a Chakram to put on the bird, so it needs to be like double Lightning Storm and Permafrost. So yep, our opponent's figured it out. This deck's very strong. Okay, for the last game here, we are on the play. We're able to play Vadius, and if we're not able to just jam the Hammer of Might on them on the 4th turn, we will be able to have a little bit of interaction with this Valkyrie Enforcer. So I think we will keep this. Not too fussed at what we find with the Crest here. Would really like a 2-drop, and Whirling Duo is pretty much good in any matchup, just it gives you a little bit of reach, as well as some necessary life gain in some matchups. I perhaps should have bottomed that just to try and find a Justice source, or any power in general, just to make sure we are able to get this Hammer of Might on the Vadius. But I think so far so good. Get to hold up a torch here, so if we are against a Stonescar beatdown deck. But this was a Crest of Chaos, so it'll have to be... Okay, so Rakano Outlaw. Don't really want to deal with that, though there are better targets for torches, and we do sort of need to reserve this torch for when it'd be useful. So just let our opponent get the... They can have the Warcry trigger, that's fine. Just going to make a Vadius. And hopefully they don't have like Virus Favor into Torch, because that'd be pretty gross. Yep, no blocks here. I'm glad that Quick Draw is only on attacks, but... Okay, so this is a sort of going wide here. Play the Whirling Duo here, we'll just end up trading it with the free grindings, which is not really what I want to be doing. So I was going to see what they do here. Obviously we're just getting in for the free. And then we'll just hold up this torch. Probably just going to torch this Rakano Outlaw after damage. Then if our opponent plays something like a champion over here, then it will just be getting vanquished on our turn. So this is perfect. We have torched the Rakano Outlaw anyway, but you do need to be a little bit mindful of where your actual removal is going when you are so sort of starved for it, because we don't just have infinite removal. And if our opponent was going to start being defensive, then just leaving one of the grindings back. But they've elected not to. Just got a 4/4 Agiport Instigator. Now what do we have here? Another Vadius, not quite what we're looking for. But we'll play back the Whirling Duo, just as we'll be able to block these grindings. But I'm not really remotely interested in double blocking this Agiport Instigator. And Hideout Pistol takes care of the Whirling Duo. We're not blocking here. As much as I'd like just to get this Hammer of Might going, I think we are just going to get in there for free, hopefully not see a torch. If we do see a torch, then that's very likely game over. But if we're able to untap with this, we are able to go running Hammer of Mights onto the Whirling Duo. But if not, then the game is not in good shape for us. Don't really want to chump with the Vadius. But again, if our Whirling Duo makes it out here, then we can be in good shape. So it's very likely here that we'll just gain 6, and if we trade with all of our opponent's units, we're in great shape. So I've got the Warcry in there, but I'm pretty sure that we are just dead because our opponent didn't block with anything. Episode of the Madness, so no matter what we did, we were going to be dead. So just give him a gift from the shadows and onto the deck tech. Okay, so that was Hulkbuster Plate, and it was Hulk busted. I got an excellent record with the deck in record time, so this is an excellent choice for just trying to ladder up there. It is a reasonably expensive deck because it does include Deepforged Plate, Kothon the Fire Watcher, and Vadius, but those are all staples in their own right. And Deepforged Plate, I did actually craft the 4th one just to play this deck. This is only going to raise in stock as time goes on, because now Soulfire Drake isn't just the go-to answer for every single Skycrag, Rakano, and Stonescar beatdown deck. We now have to have our own identities, and I think Deepforged Plate is a great piece because it turns Shelterwing Rider into a monster. Even after she loses her Aegis, she's a 5'10" endurance flyer, and that is no joke in a field full of Ikaris and Maxos. We do only have one playset of Crest in here as well, so pretty much every card in this deck is a staple for some sort of deck in the format. As you have the Unseen Commandos and the Valkyrie Forces, which are some of the best and most safe crafts in Justice. The Hammer of Might is something you want to be owning at least a playset of anyway, especially if you want to be playing some sort of Hooru Flies deck. Now this deck might change completely with the release of the new campaign, especially with the new 3/4 Unseen Bird. Perhaps it moves more towards just being a straight Hooru deck, splashing fire just for torch, and maybe something else that's in the campaign, we don't know yet. But overall, this deck is brilliant. I had a great time playing it. Congratulations to ManuS as well for taking down the ETS, and ManuS's team taking down a tournament the day after. Also another PPPS for anyone still here. I have launched a Patreon now. Don't feel obliged to contribute. I just want to keep it small for now, just to be able to help us keep on top of new cards as they come out. So when there's a new set, I just like to be able to help crack open a box of cards just so that we can keep the content up to date and fresh and modern. The content is always going to be free from my channel, and I'm going to make sure that there's no adverts appearing for as long as I'm able to control that. But if you are able to chuck us $1 a month, it'd be much appreciated. Okay, so thanks. I've been That Resolves, and this has been Hulkbuster Plate. Anyway, I'm out of here. Time to play some Tin Man.